चले।
राउत साहब, क्या स्ट्रैटेजी, क्या रहेगी स्ट्रैटेजी विनायक साहब?
सुप्रीम 5 बजे कैबिनेट तो है ही है, लेकिन 5 बजे सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी हमारी रीट पिटीशन है, उसके ऊपर सुनवाई है।
All right, so Vinayak Raut once again stepping out of Matoshri and says we'll wait for what the Supreme Court has to say. Now, Priya, it's very, very important that a cabinet meet will also take place. And all eyes on that all-important meeting. Yesterday, a similar cabinet meet took place, and we heard the change in tone that came in from Uddhav Thackeray, how he made a last-minute appeal to all of those dissident MLAs. And once again, a lot of movement here, and of course, the focus is going to be back-to-back meetings that are expected all through the evening. Talk about the BJP camp in a huddle at the moment, meetings taking place in the Congress and the NCP camp as well. And inside, a few Sena leaders who've been paying Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray regular visits. Vinayak Raut just getting out of Matoshri at the moment. So yes, security certainly is heightened at the moment here, but all eyes really on the kind of verdict, interim order that the Supreme Court is yet to give out. 5 p.m. is when that all-important case will be taken up. Whether or not we will see the proceedings for a floor test begin tomorrow at 11 a.m. are going to be directly pinned on what happens at 5 p.m. 3 leaders who we saw come out of Matoshri after having met Uddhav Thackeray for the moment.
Right, stay on with me, Kritzween. So, all important hearing in the Supreme Court at 5 p.m. and this cabinet meeting is also taking place at the same time. Why it is important is because Shiv Sena in their plea have put across 10 points on which they are saying that this order that has been issued by the governor is malified and illegal. Let me run you across. We'll take a look at the 5 contentions that have been cited in this plea that has been filed in the Supreme Court. The first one, remember this plea has been filed by Sunil Prabhu. He is the chief whip, the newly elected chief whip. The first contention is that this is malified. Second is issue of disqualification is directly connected to the floor test. Why they are saying this is because they think that the Supreme Court has already put on hold the disqualification of MLAs at least till the 12th of July. Contention 3, it is important to weed out those MLAs who are guilty of defection. This again is going to be decided only once the next hearing of the Supreme Court happens. Contention 4, none of the 39 MLAs wrote to the governor about withdrawing his support. Contention number 5, order seems to have been issued on aid and advice of the LOP. This is a leader of the opposition, which is Devendra Fadnavis in this case. Contention 6, aid and advice of Council of Ministers must have been sought, which they say has not been sought in this case. Governor is acting unilaterally on advice and aid of Devendra Fadnavis as said earlier. Contention 7, allowing floor test would make the 10th schedule a dead letter. They are saying that it is in contravention with the set rules and norms when it comes to the assembly proceedings. Contention number 8, person who commits defection already loses membership. Now, this is again one of the bigger points of contention, which is matter is already pending in Supreme Court on that as well. 16 rebel MLAs have already lost their membership. One needs to figure out on what basis they are saying so, because Supreme Court has said no such decision can be taken for next 14 days. Last point, clear attempt being made by the governor to shield MLAs from punishment. So this fight has now gone from Eknath Shinde camp versus Uddhav to now gunning for the governor as well. And this is also playing out on the streets, Shivani, because we earlier in the day saw visuals that have been put out of Eknath Shinde now being portrayed as Bahubali, because his camp has been saying that they have got some very significant numbers ahead of that Supreme Court hearing as well as the assembly floor test.
Well, definitely here. That's why we saw how yesterday Eknath Shinde, who came and said it very loudly that he has support of 50 people. But today, while addressing media, he clearly mentioned that there is going to be more addition to this series. There will be more than 50 people in his court, and that is why he's very, very confident about his victory tomorrow in the floor test, in the assembly, and that's why we are constantly seeing that poster war that is taking place. Earlier, there were some other posters, those were placed calling him as the Rakshak of Hindutva, as the savior of Hindutva. Those posters were placed in Thane, whereas today, Bahubali-like ideal, Bahubali-like poster that has been placed right in front of his house in Thane, where the security has been beefed up even more, looking at the political development that any moment of time MLAs can reach out in Mumbai, and then definitely Eknath Shinde will be returning back to his house in Thane, and there will be a march supporters of Shindekar, those will be reaching out to him, and that is why such posters are being placed. But definitely, clearly the tone, the body language and the statements, the way Eknath Shinde is making. And also we have to understand one thing, the way in a short while we are seeing more and more videos of coming from the Eknath Shinde cadre of different MLAs. All of them are saying only one line, that we are not forcefully here. Nobody forced us to come to Guwahati. We are all happy and we want to take this further step because of the growth of Shiv Sena and the growth of Marathi people. So you have to understand one thing, the growth, the Vikas term belongs to which party we all know, and that is why it clearly showcases that how it is a complete anti-movement that the Shinde cadre is taking against Uddhav Thackeray.